What is going on, everyone? My name's Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. And today it's the Game Week 2 team selection video. This is a weekly video I do every single game week where I look at how I did in the previous week and then how my team's shaping up and what kind of transfers I'm looking at for the following game week. So this is the kind of content you like. Make sure to give the video a like and subscribe if you're new around here. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any new videos or live streams that might be happening. Otherwise, let's just jump straight into it and see how I got on in Game Week 1. So taking a quick look at how my team did last week in Game Week 1. 89 points overall. Obviously, it was just 89 points for the game week as well. We've only had one game week, which is enough for an overall rank of 343,610. And in previous seasons, 89 points in the opening game week would probably get you a bit of a higher rank than that. But competition is tough. There's obviously a lot of information out there, a lot of new FPL managers as well. So 343k will have to do, and I hope to obviously cut that down as the season goes. Right now, I'm not too concerned about overall rank, and you shouldn't be too. The points are obviously still very close together. We've only had one game week. And it's not really until game weeks 4, 5 and 6, maybe even later, that I'll really start to worry about it. Looking through the team, Pope 8 points is why I really like cheap keepers. They can absolutely keep up with the more expensive ones, apart from you get to put even more money into your actual rest of your team, your outfield players. Liverpool obviously didn't keep a clean sheet, which was a bit frustrating, but Van Dijk got his goal. If you're a Trent Alexander-Arnold owner, obviously he got an assist as well. And Robertson didn't come away with anything, but he was pretty attacking. Other two defenders, both clean sheets. Zinchenko I'm really happy with at Man City. I'm sure they're going to get plenty more clean sheets as the season goes on. And Lucas Dean was quite attacking as well as getting a clean sheet. So probably a little bit unlucky not to come away with any more points. But it kind of bodes well for the future. Then looking towards midfield, Sterling 20 points was absolutely fantastic. Hat-trick on the opening day of the season. What more could you want? Salah obviously not chipping in with quite as many points, but I was always going to captain him against Norwich. So if you had those two and you went Sterling captain, I bow down to you. It was a great call. And hopefully I can get that right more often than not for the rest of the season. Perez a little bit frustrating. From what I've heard and what I've read, it wasn't too involved in terms of attacking potential. Played maybe a bit wide than we'd hope instead of central. So he's one I'm definitely concerned about. And Lucas Moura the same. I kind of switched him out for Martial on stream, then switched back. Obviously now I wish I had Martial because it's still a transfer I'm looking at making. Obviously he's got Man City this week, potentially going to lose his place in the team. So I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. And then King and Wilson obviously didn't quite do what I wanted, the Bournemouth attack. They've still got a game against Aston Villa, who conceded 31 shots against Spurs. So fingers crossed they can still get some points. But Wilson did chip in with an assist. So 89 points to start the season. Super happy with that. Let's talk about the team for next week. So we'll start by looking at the goalkeeper and defenders. I've got one free transfer, obviously coming in from game week 1. Squad value of 100 million. I'm keeping that 100 million, even though I've got 0.5 in the bank, because that's what my total squad is worth. Obviously, if I add the 0.5 million, it's still worth 100 million. No players have risen or fallen in price at the time of recording this, but that could change soon. So, starting off with Pope, I'm not going to talk too much about the goalkeeper week to week because it's not really a position I'm ever going to want to make a transfer on. Pope will basically be in my team till I wildcard, and even then, he might make it further than that. The obviously only choice if you've got a goalkeeper like Alisson, you're probably going to want to get rid of him. But I'll talk about players that aren't in my team more in the game week preview, which will be out on Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that. In defence, like I said, I'm really happy with Zinchenko. I think he looked comfortable at left back. I think unless Mendy's back, I just don't see him losing his place anytime soon. Yes, Cancelo can play left back. We've seen it before, but he hasn't done it many times. So I'm pretty happy with Zinchenko. Probably not as good as an attacker as the likes of Mendy, but he is only 5.5 million. I expect Man City to get a lot of clean sheets. I think there's even a good chance they get one this week. I'm expecting the Spurs game to be pretty tight. It's not going to be like the Champions League last year with like a 4-3 win. I just think it's going to be tight, and it could be 0-0, could be a 1-0 victory to either side. But Zinchenko, a great chance at getting a clean sheet. Van Dijk and Robertson. Liverpool defence double up now does look a little bit worse because Alisson, we've not had an official prognosis from Liverpool, but it sounds like he's going to be out for at least a few weeks. So whatever a few means, whether it's 2, 3, 4, we don't know yet. Perhaps it could be longer. That's obviously a worry, but I think Liverpool's team defensively is so good anyway. I'm hoping Adrian, who obviously is not as good as Alisson, I'm hoping he can come in and still do the business anyway. If you've got Alisson, I think you probably you get rid for a different keeper and maybe either go without the double Liverpool defence or put the money elsewhere and get a Liverpool defender instead. But really happy with these two. I think Robertson was definitely attacking in the opening game against Norwich. Trent Alexander-Arnold was a tough watch if you didn't have him, but Robertson could have come away with attack and returns as well. So I'm super happy to have him still. And Van Dijk obviously popping up at the corner. So this could quite easily be another clean sheet. I think Southampton away is probably going to be a bit tougher than Norwich at home was. But I still think there's a chance for a clean sheet, and even if not, attacking returns, as we've already seen. And Lucas Digne, obviously, Watford conceded 3 to Brighton. Didn't score any themselves. Didn't look great. Defoe played wide. So we'll see if he starts the game and what position he plays in against Everton. But Everton looked okay defensively. Mina and Keane are a little bit of a worry. So it does make me worry that they're going to concede chances, and it's going to affect Lucas Digne, obviously, in Coleman's clean sheet potential. But attacking-wise, he was right up there again. So I've not got any real concerns in my defence right now. Man United defender potentially going to come in a few weeks, but let's wait and see how they do, because even though they kept a clean sheet against Chelsea, they did concede a lot of shots. So right now, pretty content with my defence and definitely keeping as is this week. So adding in the midfield, this is definitely where I'm kind of most wondering about my team, whether I should make a transfer. Let's talk about the obvious players first, Salah and Sterling. I've got Salah captain right now. I think Sterling's a really good option this week against Spurs at home. Did really well against the top 6 last year. And if it is an open game, obviously he's going to be right up there. There's probably even a slight chance that he plays as a striker and plays as kind of a false 9. Obviously Aguero didn't start the last match. Jesus was there, but there is a chance that Pep goes with Sterling. So that'd be interesting to see him as a number 9. But obviously that's not necessarily a better position for him for scoring goals when he's so good from out wide. So I'm probably going to go with Salah, even though it's the away game. I think it's probably the slightly easier fixture. Obviously we've still got to wait for midweek when Chelsea play Liverpool. Obviously if there's any big injuries, I'll definitely be looking to make some changes. But right now, Salah captain, and obviously not looking at getting rid of those two. They are my 2 premiums, so they're definitely staying. Perez and Moura are where I'm more looking at maybe getting rid of one of those players. So Perez is probably going to stay. He's got Chelsea away. I knew this, if he didn't get anything in the first game week, the second game week would look quite bad. But then it's Sheffield United and Bournemouth after that. So he's kind of got 4 weeks to show me what he can do. And after that, if he's no good, I'll probably look to get rid, because Leicester's fixtures do get pretty tough. So he is a short-term pick, probably. But for now, I'm going to keep him, even though it's Chelsea away. It's Lucas Moura that I'm really kind of concerned about, because I talked about this in the last video. And it does seem like a short-term pick, and that he was a transfer waiting to happen. So a lot was banking on Aston Villa at home, because then it's Man City away, which is a tough fixture. And then from game week 3, do we even know if he'll be in the team? Son will be back for Spurs, and obviously we don't know what's happening with the Ali injury. How quickly will he be back? And once those players are both in the team, and Lamella's fit and playing as well, where does Lucas Moura fit in? So if Son's back and Ali isn't, they could play 4-2-3-1, have Eriksen as number 10 if he's still at the club, and Moura and Son as the wide players. So there's potentially a chance for him to start that Newcastle game, but eventually he's probably someone I'm going to have to let go, and he's going to be someone I always wonder about what to do with. And obviously Man City away is not a great fixture, and I've got a wild card in my back pocket, so it kind of makes me feel like I should be a little bit more aggressive with my transfers, and if it goes wrong I can use that wild card as and when needed. So the player I'm looking at is Martial. Obviously played as a number 9, didn't get as many goals as Rashford. Penalty wise, Rashford has kind of said they've got 4 or 5 penalty takers at the club that are happy to take penalties. They want to keep the goalkeepers guessing. So there is a chance Martial will take a penalty before long. But obviously we don't know that for sure. But still, for 7.5 million, midfielder playing as a number 9 for Man United, who've just scored 4 goals against Chelsea, it is pretty appealing. And obviously Martial does have Wolves away in the next fixture, which is tough. But after that, the fixtures are quite good. And obviously, he's not so much of a worry as a rotation threat. I just think when he's fit, he's going to start the majority of games. Lucas Moura, on the other hand, once everyone's fit for Spurs, isn't necessarily going to start every game. So that's definitely a transfer I'm looking at. For other people that are looking at it, obviously, saving a free transfer and going into game week 3 with 2 gives you a lot of flexibility. There's also nothing to say that Moura can't get something against Man City, especially if Spurs play a more counter-attacking game. So it is a bit of a worry getting rid of him. And obviously, if he does play that Newcastle game, there's a chance for points there too. So that is something I consider, and just keeping him. And then game week 3, maybe looking at something else. Obviously, Harry Kane is someone that I'm also looking at now as well. So midfield is looking pretty good. I think Perez gets a couple more chances. But Lucas Moura, I think if anyone goes, and obviously I'll finalise that before the end of the week and let you know, it'd be Moura to Martial is definitely a transfer I'm looking at making. So adding in the forwards, we've got King and Wilson up front, and obviously there was a lot of people, and myself included, that would hope they would do more damage to Sheffield United, and it just didn't happen. In the end, Wilson came away with just an assist. But Aston Villa away could be a good fixture. Villa, yes, they defended okay. A lot of people pointed out that they defended well, but they still conceded 31 shots to Spurs, and Eriksen kind of unlocked them. So Villa played quite a counter-attacking game. At home, they might play more attacking football from the off, and that could give chance to Bournemouth to get some points as well. So I don't think there's any rush on Wilson or King. I know a lot of people looking at Wilson to Rashford. I think I would hold on that. Wilson's got the better fixture. Yes, he didn't get 13 points like Rashford, but he still got the assist. and he could easily match him in game week 2. So I think you hold Wilson. King, yeah, I'm not too concerned about him either. 6.5 million. I don't think there's necessarily a standout straight away to swap him to. Obviously, Jota didn't do anything. Deulofeu now looks like a bit of a worry. There's other strikers like Morpay at Brighton who came on and scored, and he's probably going to get that number 1 striker spot for Brighton going forwards. But I'd like to see him be given a bit more time so we can see exactly how he plays. Yes, Brighton scored 3 goals, but their expected goals was less than 1. So it's only been 1 game week. I still want to get as much information as I can before I make too many moves. And I think the plan was to have these 2 Bournemouth players for Villa and then maybe look at getting rid in game week 3 when they got Man City. So I probably won't get rid of both of them, but hopefully by game week 3 I'll have a bit more info on all the other players that have played, decide who to change first, whether it's King or Wilson. For my team, one thing I'll say is I've obviously got that 0.5 in the bank, so I can do Moura to Martial and still have 0.5 million if I wanted to do Wilson to Rashford going forward. So I've definitely got options. On the bench, then Donker obviously had that goal ruled offside for VAR, which was frustrating for anyone that was going to get him off the bench. And Lundstram looked good for Sheffield United, created a few chances, was quite attacking. Considering he's listed as a 4 million defender, I'm actually pretty tempted to play him against Crystal Palace at home, but it would mean getting rid of Perez or Moura and putting him on the bench, and I know the benching attackers can really hurt you, so it's not something I want to risk, but Lundstram definitely gets the first spot on the bench. So attackers-wise, definitely keeping King and Wilson, but I've got my eye on who to replace them with, but let's give them another game. We can see what they can do against Villa first. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. That's my team going into game week 2. Make sure to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of the team. And also let me know what you think of my transfer option, Lucas Moura to Martial. Should I do it before the price rise? I'm pretty tempted to do that, to not have to pay an extra 0.1 million, even though I have the 0.5 million in the bank. If it's a player that I absolutely want, I just want to get through and get the transfer done, even though there could be injury news at the end of the week. So usually I wait, but this week I might do it early. We'll wait and see on that. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you're new around here. There's lots more content to come. Obviously, this video is purely about my team, but tomorrow there'll be a game week preview on Wednesday, talking about all the pressing issues and news in FPL that maybe affect your team, not just mine. And then on Thursday, as always, there'll be a live stream at 9 o'clock in the evening, UK time, to go through all your questions absolutely live. So make sure you tune into that, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Cheers all.